you hop on it?
Yep, hop on it. That's it.
Yay! That was easy.
That was easy.
Hi, I'm Brian.
All right, guys, here we are after day 2. I had some help this weekend, thanks Jared, and we made some real good progress. We did what I think is the hard parts, so let's walk around and take a look at what we've done and what's left. So again, sill plate is kind of a ladder-like structure, right? As you can see here, we're starting to put these cross members in place. I'm gonna put these cross members or rungs everywhere there's a piece of rebar. And the idea is that that piece of rebar can be bent like so. And here's an example. It can be bent over like so into a notch in that cross member to prevent movement this way. Some movement this way. We'll be bending them in different directions from time to time to kind of trap this little box here. So prevent movement this way. And obviously the rebar is bent over to kind of squeeze down so that the rebar actually can't pull up as well. That rebar is pinned underneath tires underground here. So that's what we're building. The straps are in place to allow us to strap up and over the whole wall of straw bale when we're done here. So we're just trapping them there now because once we pull this down tight, we might not be able to get those underneath anymore. So I've just left a piece of strapping there, and we'll buckle to either end of this strapping to go the rest of the way over the top and make a complete, strap around the straw bales from underneath the sill plate to over the top plate at the top. So what we worked on the last couple of days, obviously, is building these boxes, and then we started to pin them down, and we focused on the corners so that we could get nice and square, which we did a really good job of. So if we go around, obviously we've got whatever dimensions we've got. It's a little bigger than 24 by 30, which is, I was going for 24 by 30. We got to be maybe about a foot bigger than that. That's fine, just because of where the tires fell. But the key was that we had a nice, equal diagonal measurement so that this would be square. And I mean, we were on, I would say within a fraction of an inch, but I mean, it was right on. So we are very square. So we pinned down all these corners while we were doing that, and every time we pinned one down, we checked square a bunch of times. And if we had to kick something a little bit, we did that. So we've got 2 bars bent over here, one there and one there, to get this corner in place. We started, and we've done that at all the corners. There's 2 bars bent over there, there's 2 bent over in that corner, and there's 2 bent over in this corner. So all the corners are locked in place.
This is what I do when I get bored. Oh! I'm gonna try to throw it up. I'm gonna throw it up.
That's a bad idea.
All right, never mind.
Fail. We then started to, if you kind of sight down one of these things here, it might be hard to tell right this minute, but you can get a little bit of, creep in any direction, based on just the wood being a little bit. And we haven't put these cross members in yet. That'll stiffen things up. But basically, we had, a little bit of movement here. So what we started to do was kind of kick things into place. We pulled a string line here to make sure this was nice and straight, and we started to try and pin this down in place. And even if we had to kind of pull one way and it didn't want to go, like for example, we actually put one of these boxes here in the middle. We actually started in the middle when we began, and we locked that down in place with a piece of rebar. And it turned out after we put the corners in place and everything, that box was actually out of position a little bit. It was off to the side a little. So what we did is on the piece next to it, let's get over here. So this actually was the first piece of rebar we bent, I believe. And we did it on this box to try and get this box in position. And we didn't find out really till after the fact, like I said, that it was a little out of alignment kind of with the corners, the way things needed to be. So when we got the corners done, we basically could see this whole wall had a little bit of a wonkiness to it, right? It wasn't straight. So we used this next piece of rebar. We actually cut our notch out purposely a little bit off, and we pulled on this while we pulled that rebar in, and that allowed us to kind of move this box completely over. So that's why I say we kind of did the hard parts while I had my help here. so that the rest of this hopefully I can do myself. But the idea is that if I need to move, I can either just kick these boxes, you know, into position if they need to move a little bit. If the play is there and it'll let me move it a little bit, I'll kick it over. I'll use a string line every time I do one of these stretches to make sure I'm straight. But I can kick them into place, and if I can't kick them into place, if they don't want to move, I can use that trick of kind of cutting the notch purposely a little off, and we'll put pressure on that piece of wood while we pull that rebar in there. And once you get the rebar inside that notch, it'll actually hold that thing in place from moving side to side. But I think we've lined them all up pretty straight. I'm just kind of eyeballing them now, but we will use string when I actually pin the rest of these down. But based on what we did so far, and hopefully that it was the harder parts, I think I can finish the rest of this myself. Hopefully today, but I don't know. There's still about 30 some pieces of rebar to bend over there.
Are those good?
Yeah, they're good.
Your face is...
This isn't even as bad as it's been. It was much worse than this before, wasn't it?
Your face is dirty. Wait, can I get a close-up? Extreme close-up. Your face is...
I don't know what you put on these things. It got all over my face, but...
That's dirt.
These little cavities, by the way, all these little cavities will be filled with either gravel, some sort of maybe pea gravel or something, or some insulation, or a combination of the two. Right now I'm thinking just pea gravel, just for ease, and because there will be little pieces of rebar sticking into these cavities, I think gravel will be the best way to kind of just swallow that all up. So basically when I'm done, this will all be filled with gravel, and then that's a spot that I can set a bale on. By the way, this is wide enough exactly to set a bale on. So that's where we're at. That's what we've done so far, and that's what I've got left to do. I just have to today to cut a bunch of those little pieces. Actually, I've already cut those little pieces, but notch them each out and bend the rebar. And they have to be done individually because each piece of rebar, you know, is in a, you know, they're not all in the exact same position, and I might need to move the box a little bit. So every piece of rebar, every cross member has to be notched individually for that particular piece of rebar that it's up against. So it is a little tedious, but it makes, I think it's gonna make for a nice end product here. So, and that's the key. So let's get to work.
Dang.
I'm attached.
Yeah.
That's
That is
it.
nice.
49 times.
Wow. Yeah, that's
one.
That's solid.
Okay, so
That's
I'm just
solid.
working it in all different spots to
Okay.
try and pull it down and keep it. Yep,
All right.
that's it.
Sweet. Good job. All of those are done. All of those are done. All these are done except for one.
Last one.
The very last rebar. Drum roll. Wind roll. Now you hop on it?
Yep. Hop on it. That's it.
Yay! That was easy.
That was easy.
Wow.
It's
Now,
not moving.
now what do we do?
Take a break.
Cool. All right. Let's take a break. Bye. Hey everybody. Thanks for watching.
If you liked what you saw, please hit that thumbs up button and consider subscribing or sharing with a friend. And click the bell notification so you never miss any of our videos.
We really appreciate every view and comment. And if you're looking for other ways to support us, please check out the links in the description box.
See you in the next video.